Lunatic libtards believe so much that's not true. They've indicted President Trump 101 times now. First in New York, we think. That's all we can find out. Because a lot of the charges are posted, like the racketeering charges against Trump were posted and then pulled from the docket. Because racketeering involves conspiracy to make money. Well, Trump didn't make money while he was president. He had to spend it all on legal fees because the lunatic libtards have gone insane. In New York, the New York prosecutor said, well, the charges we leveled against Trump are all fake, but we might be able to get a misdemeanor to stick. What? Then, in D.C., they won't say anything about the D.C. because when we go to the D.C. courts, they're all boarded up. So who's indicting Trump from D.C. if the D.C. courts are all boarded up? Hello? And then in Miami, 37 charges against freedom of speech. You can't give your opinion. And they did it with an out-of-state grand jury. Nobody knows who was on the grand jury. So it was all made-up charges. And the governor of Florida is too stupid and cowardly to arrest the U.S. attorney who's leveling fake charges against President Trump. That sick Florida governor. I don't know what is mentally wrong with him, but he's a sick puppy. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. Governor, you're responsible for enforcing this. You won't do it. Your political career is dead. Dead on arrival. You sound like he sounds like a 12-year-old when he's drinking beer with people, Jane.
Who does?
The governor of Florida.
Oh, Ron DeSantis?
DeSantis sounds...
De sanctimonious?
He sounds like a 12-year-old. Hey, man, let's have a beer. Hey, isn't this good beer? I like this beer. Hey. Sounds like some 12-year-old trying to make himself popular in a high school. DeSantis never grew up. He's just been surrounded by the CIA and made governor to look like a conservative governor as he arrests 6,000 kids and sends them to nut wards with the parents not even knowing it. The guy is a nutcase. So in Miami, 37 charges in Fulton County. You ready for this? 47 charges, but they have 10 more charges against they don't know who and they don't know what the charges are. They're just filling in the blanks. It's like they have a blank and they fill it in. Well, we've got 10 more charges against Trump. We don't know who it's against and we don't know what the charges are for, but we're filling them out just as fast as we can. And Trump may be a flight risk for the charges we haven't even leveled against him because we don't know what to level against him. Jane, that's insane. They said that about the 47 charges, and then they said that about the 10 charges. Or abridging the freedom of speech or the freedom of the press. Marion, Kansas, that raided the home of the newspaper. The 98-year-old owner dropped dead the next day. Too much stress. The Marion, Indiana police force, little town of 2,000 people with 6 cops, murdered a 98-year-old woman to shut down a newspaper who had evidence but was not presenting it that one of the bar owners got a DUI and can't serve alcohol. That's where the cops must have their donuts. There are good police forces and bad police forces. I went to bed with gunshots right over here. Massive gunfire, machine guns. That's what the FBI give the drug gangs now. They are the Gestapo. They're doing exactly what Mueller told them to do. Create terror in the streets of America, then come back with a solution. They are doing exactly what Mueller, head of the Gestapo, did in 1933. Create terror in the streets, worship Lucifer, murder citizens, come up with a solution. By the way, I found out what Mao Zedong's hand signal is. Mao Zedong, Hitler. Yeah, Mao Zedong was the double fist. In Russia, it's the communist fist. And in America, it's the Luciferian fist. It's all the same thing. Mao, Hitler, Stalin, Lucifer, all the same thing. Masonic, all the same thing. Organizations that worship Lucifer, that have fallen off their course and are going to cause the system to collapse, even in Russia. Especially in Russia. So anyway, they are charging him, and the Federal Election Commission states clearly that a man running for president, man meaning men and women, you morons, libtards, because man came from a word that means man and woman. So a man who is running for president cannot be indicted. Now, President Trump announced he was running for president, and then New York, D.C., Miami, and Fulton County, in Georgia. That's where Fort McPherson is. That's why the president has to change cars and have the area covered, because there's somebody up in one of those buildings that doesn't like President Trump. He doesn't like him. He has to be protected. It's maybe another duplicate of JFK. They're after him. You've been warned, President Trump. Come in the back door and change seats and be surrounded with people and have people prepared for what's out there in those buildings. That's all I'm going to say. If you want any more information, you have to call and ask. Anyway, I will not mention that again because I don't want to get thrown off YouTube for stopping a full-scale firecracker exchange. I don't want to be thrown off YouTube. I want to obey their rules and regulations. Sure, they killed Channel 2 and 3, but I can't affect that. That was Microsoft's decision. My job is to protect the planet from these idiots who want to crack it in half like they did to Marduk. My job is to keep America from looking like Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1946, January. That's my job. And as such, the protection of Biden is not important because he's already died on film, and then they pulled the film. They've got so many doubles. But the protection of Trump is paramount, along with several world leaders. So that's what I do. You want my job, you can have it. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll tell you, I'm fighting a battle. There's an internal battle going on in the FBI. And the bad guys are winning. And the good guys are losing. But that is to stop this coming firecracker exchange. And that means everything you know is gone for those of you who survive. Like the United Nations says, like the head of the United Nations says, America and Europe must be killed first because the whites can fight against Lucifer. We'll see what happens. All I know is I've warned President Trump for the 79th time. Who cares? Whatever. He'll listen because that bullet that ricocheted by his head in Mar-a-Lago was real, and we warned him about that. So I think he's going to listen to this one. God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. And wear a plate on your back. The Secret Service will know what that is. We'll see you tomorrow.